Imagine you are in a conversation where people take turns sharing their opinions. However, when you start expressing your thoughts, someone interrupts you, makes negative comments, or acts as if your feelings have no value. Would you feel confused, hurt, or even angry? If the answer is yes, then you are not alone. We often face disrespectful behavior in our daily lives, whether at work, in personal relationships, or even among strangers. But the question is, why do we have to tolerate these things? Is there a way to handle such situations skillfully without harming ourselves or others? In today's video, we will explore 5 powerful ways to deal with people who disrespect you. These methods are not only based on Stoic philosophy, one of the most profound classical schools of thought, but are also illustrated through real-life stories and deep personal experiences. Watch until the end to learn how to protect your dignity, develop self-respect, and maintain calmness in the face of challenges from others. Part 1. Stay silent and use a powerful gaze. There is a famous saying, "Silence is golden." But silence here is not just about saying nothing, it is about using silence as a powerful communication tool. In Stoic philosophy, silence is not merely a reaction but a message. I will not be dragged into your negative emotions. When faced with disrespect, many people's natural reaction is to respond immediately, arguing, explaining, or even expressing anger. But instead of doing that, try remaining silent and using a calm, confident gaze to convey your message. Real-life example. Imagine you are in an important meeting. A colleague continuously interrupts you and dismisses every idea you present. Initially, you might feel frustrated and want to defend your viewpoint. But instead of reacting, you pause, look directly at them with a calm, unwavering gaze. The atmosphere in the room will shift immediately. I once experienced a similar situation. During a meeting, a colleague repeatedly took over my speaking time. Instead of raising my voice or arguing, I chose to stay silent and look at him firmly yet without hostility. That gaze made him feel uncomfortable, and he eventually stopped. From that moment on, he began showing more respect in future meetings. Lesson. Silence and a powerful gaze help assert your position without words. They allow you to remain calm, avoid getting emotionally entangled, and make the other person reflect on their behavior. Part 2. The power of silence. Not reacting is a reaction. Disrespectful people often try to provoke your emotions. They want to pull you into an argument to assert their dominance. But when you choose not to react, you not only protect your energy, but also put them in an awkward position. Stoic philosophy teaches us, you cannot control others' actions, but you can control how you respond. Silence is a way to take control of the situation and demonstrate inner strength. Illustrative story. One time, I was having dinner with a group of friends. During the meal, one person kept making unpleasant comments about me, about my clothes, my job, and more. At first, I felt annoyed and wanted to respond. But then I remembered the power of silence. Instead of engaging, I simply smiled, continued eating, and paid no attention to the remarks. The result? The person felt ignored and eventually stopped. Lesson. Silence is not weakness, it is a form of self-control. It prevents you from being dragged into unnecessary conflicts and helps you maintain composure in all situations. Part 3. Set clear boundaries. One of the most important ways to deal with disrespect is to set clear boundaries. You need to let others know that you will not tolerate behavior that hurts you. Boundaries do not always need to be expressed through strong words or confrontation. Sometimes, simply distancing yourself or refusing to engage in negative conversations is an effective way to set limits. Illustrative story. I once had a friend who constantly made negative remarks in every conversation. No matter how much I tried to listen and explain, he wouldn't change. Finally, I decided to set a boundary. I told him directly, "I feel that your comments are not helping our friendship. If you continue, I may need to distance myself." The result? He realized his behavior and started changing. Lesson. Setting boundaries helps protect you from negative people. Do not hesitate to express your feelings and needs, because that is your right. Part 4. Face disrespect with confidence. Confidence is not something everyone is born with, but it can be built and strengthened over time. One of the most powerful ways to handle disrespect is by maintaining strong posture, a steady voice, and a confident attitude. People rarely dare to belittle those who know their worth and express it naturally. Stoic philosophy teaches, you do not need validation from others because your value lies in how you see yourself. Illustrative story. During a public presentation, a member of the audience interrupted me with a sarcastic remark. "What you're saying doesn't seem very realistic, does it?" His comment caught the attention of the entire room, creating a slightly uncomfortable atmosphere. Instead of becoming flustered or angry, I smiled, stood up straight, looked him directly in the eye, and calmly responded, "Thank you for your feedback. Perhaps we're looking at this from two different perspectives, and I'd love to hear your specific viewpoint." This calm and confident reaction not only allowed me to regain control of the situation, but also made it difficult for him to continue his disruption. After that, he remained silent, and the presentation went smoothly. Lesson. When you face disrespect with confidence, you not only protect yourself, but also create a strong image in front of those around you. Remember, confidence comes from knowing your worth and abilities, not from seeking validation from others. Part 5. Focus on what you can control. One of the most important principles of Stoic philosophy is to focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. When someone behaves disrespectfully, you cannot change them immediately, but you can completely control how you react. Illustrative story. I once had a difficult manager who often publicly criticized employees. One day, during a meeting, he suddenly called me out in front of everyone for a minor mistake. At first, I felt embarrassed and frustrated. But then, I remembered a lesson from Stoic philosophy. You cannot control what others say, but you can control your emotions and actions. Instead of arguing or reacting negatively, I calmly said, "Thank you for your feedback. I'll review the issue and address it right after this meeting." This response not only helped me maintain professionalism, but also made my manager reconsider his behavior. Lesson. Don't let others' emotions dictate your actions. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. Part 6. Build inner strength. To deal with disrespectful people, the most important thing is to develop inner strength. This is not physical strength, but the ability to maintain self-respect, patience, and composure in any situation. Illustrative story. I once witnessed a friend being harshly criticized in a meeting. Instead of getting angry or defensive, she simply smiled and said, "I understand that we may have different perspectives. I'll listen carefully and consider ways to improve." Her calm demeanor not only surprised the critic, but also earned respect from everyone in the room. When I later asked her how she remained so composed, she shared, "Every day, I take time to meditate and journal, reminding myself that my value does not depend on others' words." Lesson. Inner strength does not come from winning arguments, but from understanding your worth and refusing to let anyone shake that belief. Conclusion. Key takeaways and call to action. In life, you will inevitably encounter disrespectful people, but the important thing is not what they say or do, it's how you respond. To summarize, remember, white heavy checkmark, stay silent and use a powerful gaze. This is a way to assert your strength without words. White heavy checkmark, do not react immediately. Silence is sometimes the most powerful answer. White heavy checkmark, set clear boundaries. Don't hesitate to express your feelings and demand respect. White heavy checkmark, face disrespect with confidence. Your value is not dependent on others' approval. White heavy checkmark, focus on what you can control. Pay attention to your response, not changing others. White heavy checkmark, build inner strength. Self-respect and calmness will help you overcome any challenge. Finally, apply these lessons in your daily life. Don't let anyone diminish your worth. Be the one in control of your own story. Start today by using one of these techniques in a real-life situation. And if you found these lessons helpful, share this video to help more people learn how to deal with disrespect.